I think, considering the population of Nigeria and also considering the mineral resources we have, and considering the leverage in terms of country-to-country agreement, because if you look at the free trade agreements, it has created a lot of impediments to some extent. What is fundamental now, considering the revenue generation you are getting for last 6 months, I think it is very, very important as a committee that come in to give us highlight on how we will generate revenue and also protect our industries in Nigeria so that we can have a good comparative advantage with our neighboring countries. Because you are here for government responsibility. But if you look at most of the problems now Nigeria are having, there's problems of this armed infiltration and smuggling, which you are facing it, and also lack of dwindling revenue generation. So that it needs to be honest to ourselves. So, Mr. Chairman, why is part of what we are here, and we are here to ensure that peace and security prevail in the border communities. So please, how will you ascertain based on experience so that we can come up where the laws will be amended so that we can amend it and make things work effectively and efficiently as it is before?
Thank you very much, sir. So your question, distinguished, is related to what distinguished Senator also said about obtaining documents and approvals. Trade is about competitiveness.
Yes.
The moment there is competitiveness, you can, particularly international trade, you must find out how to lower cost of production. Once you lower cost of production, and after producing, you have to move the cargo, you have to transport. Distinguished chairman mentioned it, that if you remove cost of transportation, you also gain some advantage. So one thing we are going to do is, first of all, remove any encumbrance that has to do with method of obtaining approvals. I will give you an instance. If I am going to get approval to export, how do I make sure that that document is of doing business? Do I have to travel all the way to Abuja to get that approval? Is there a satellite office where I can go to and that approval will easily be given to me?
Or you can get approval from online.
Or can I get it online? Can I save resources? I'll give you an instance. Our neighbors is a very small country. Sorry to say, in quote. If the controller here needs any documents, the capital is just here. And any other part of this country, Benin, that you want to travel, by the time you travel 3-4 hours, you are in the capital. But in our own case, if I want to go to Abuja, I'm spending like 6-7 hours by road.
Abuja.
To Abuja, for instance. And I will go. So it's related to what you said, sir. First is, let us ease the process of obtaining approvals. 2, lower cost of production. That one, I don't want to go deep into it because it has been, since Oga has been here, we've been talking about it. How do you lower cost of production? Energy,
security,
provide quick access to raw materials, which we have already done in customs. All our raw materials are either 5% or 0%. On our own market, we have already done that. But then there are other things.
Just an information to you.
That very soon, Nigeria will join the African Continental Free Trade Regime, when we are expected to improve the current African trade that is at 6% only, to go up to at least 20%, because within the whole world, Africa trades the least among themselves. The highest is Europe, which trades at 64% among themselves. So you see that we trade more with European countries than we even trade among ourselves. Now, my main objective here is to improve trade among West African countries under the ETLUS scheme and ACFA, and to sustain and improve trade facilitation in the border with border communities. And that is why we invited the KBAC and all our stakeholders here to come and attest if the relationship between us as customs and other government agencies are as it should be. We also expect compliance of officers and other agencies of the border with international trade procedures, including the rules of engagement referred to by the chairman, and we expect to apply our experience. But the core mandate of every custom officer is to generate revenue. As at the time this was produced, the revenue of the command stands at 1,585,000,000. As at this morning, this revenue stands at 1,600,000,000 naira. Now, they will have a benchmark. My target as a command with my colleagues here is to generate 1.96 billion. But as at this morning, we've been able to collect 1.6 billion. That means we are just 300 million naira away from meeting our target, and we are just in August. What it means is that from September, October, November to December, of course, if we were able to collect 1.6 billion from January to August, it means that from the middle of this August till December, we should be able to collect at least 1 billion naira more. And then on trade facilitation, one of the sore areas that stakeholders here will complain to you is the issue of multiple checkpoints across this corridor. As part of our effort to stop that, we've been dismantling checkpoints here. It's been in the news. The stakeholders here can testify to that, the effort we've made. And in addition to that, why are we doing that? It's not just for trade, it's also for tourism. The young man you see here is from Turkey. He was born in Turkey, but he lives in South Africa. And he was traveling from Spain to South Africa on bicycle, and said he will travel across the whole world on bicycle. This is part of what we encourage, because it is tourism. As he's traveling, he's going to bring tourism potentials. He will spend his money here. Our people will see him. Next slide, please. We also have bikers. This particular set of bikers travel from Ivory Coast through this place to Gombe on motorcycle team exercise. It's part of our tourism activity here. So we're not just doing only custom work. We also have interagency synergy with us. With me here is the head of Navy, Paul. Paul is in South Korea now. He has since moved over and somebody else took over. We also collaborate with Nigerian police. And we collaborate with other government agencies, as you can see here. These are my colleagues from immigration. And then this is the head of border patrol for police, Muniru. And this is my co-chairman for this joint border post, the head of customs of Benin, Lois. She's seated in her office now. We have a very good working relationship with them. We try as much as possible. And she has told me that whatever challenge I face here is what she faces, that we are all serving government, but we don't make the policy. That it is the policy that is made by government that we implement. So sometimes I meet her to say, Lois, this is not good for my people. You have to moderate. And she will say, no, this is what I go through too, what you are going through. I can't change until I get approval. Here, we also have some other stakeholders on the day that we celebrated World Customs Organization Day, because we are part of the global customs community. This is the visit of the Controller General of Customs, the current one, on July 24th, to the Customs Administration of Benin Republic, where we also are accompanied by the stakeholders seated here. All of them seated here, the Badagry Chamber of Commerce, the ANCLA, other stakeholders, the Shippers Council. They all followed us to Benin Republic, where we went to discuss our common challenges across this trade corridor, which is very important. Now, again, we also have engagements from global bodies. Here, we have the delegation from World Customs Organization and then the World Trade Organization from Japan, who came to discuss with me what they can do to further improve our relationship across the sub-region. Like I said earlier, Nigeria is very important to the world. Whatever we do here affects global economy.